to it, and a Happy New Year to you.
Good morning, and Happy New Year to you and to the viewers as well.
Except for the 2013 year, this year the overall pass rate has increased from 58.8% in 2013 to 68.9%. What do you attribute the rise in that number to?
Actually, the number would have been even better if you left out the two worst performing of the 7 schools that sat for the exams, because that figure would have risen to 83.3%. That is for the 5 best performing schools. The emphasis on education, which, by the way, our own president is particularly passionate about, is one of the national priorities in our National Development Plan. And this applies across the board. And as correctional services, we ourselves are taking it upon ourselves to ensure that we support that national goal, and hence increased emphasis on ensuring that our inmates equally have access to education at all levels.
Last year, Morning Live paid a tribute to students, and while they were, of course, this was while they were writing their last exams. Just talk to me about the overall quality and the improvement on the quality of offenders who write their matric exams while behind bars.
I must concede that in terms of the coveted subjects, maths and science, we haven't had sufficient enrollment for those subjects, and that's one of the areas going forward that we would be looking at. But I think the increase in overall pass rate is encouraging to us. It is an indication that more effort is being put by our teachers and our learners in our correctional facilities to ensure that our performance in the educational field within corrections improves. This is critical because when they leave, because most people in correctional facilities are not there permanently, you want them to be able to reintegrate effectively into society by way of getting employment, preferably quality employment, and contribute back to society whilst they improve their lot.
I think that has been a very contentious issue, Minister, the fact that once you're behind bars, you get an opportunity to study and educate yourself. But there seems to be some kind of aversion from a public perspective. Often when people hear that you're a former prisoner or that you've been locked up for hijacking, murder, what's the success rate of prisoners finding jobs with these qualifications once they re-enter normal life?
Actually, it is a challenge that we're looking at from a policy perspective as well. For example, as Minister of Justice as well, I get to recommend to the President the expungement of offences by previous inmates after they have left our facilities for at least a period of 10 years. And that assists them in removing this barrier, the stigma, that you have a criminal record, and therefore most employers won't want to associate themselves with somebody who has that background. Reality is many people, as a result of rehabilitation, the opportunity they've had in correctional facilities to transform their lives through reskilling, education, and just character change as human beings should be given an opportunity once they return to society to continue to participate. Otherwise, you are saying to them that you're not welcome and therefore the only other way you're encouraging them to continue to survive is to do what they know best, which is not helping the fight against crime either. So once people are out of prison, I think it's critical that society comes to terms, and that's why some of the programs that we're introducing are focusing on restorative justice, reintegration back into society, making sure that society gets to appreciate better that they are dealing with a different person with different intent, and welcome that person so that that person continues in a positive way to contribute to society.
Minister, very quickly, just that numbers, the amount of inmates that wrote their 2013 matric exams?
2014.
2014.
Matric, yes. Out of the 14 full-time schools, by the way, we started with only one school in 2000, and now we're at 14 schools. And of those, 7 sat for matric exams, and out of the 7, 90 learners participated in the matric exams. That is the full-time learners. But there were also part-time learners who wrote, and the overall figure is 185. Out of the 90 learners who were full-time, the aggregate or the average pass rate was, as you said earlier, 68.9%. But if you exclude the 2 worst performing schools, including one which had a 0 pass rate that only had 6 learners, you then have an aggregate much higher of 83% pass rate, which is quite good. So one concedes that the 2 schools do need special attention, so that if we can get improvement there, that should push up our aggregate.
Minister, we're going to leave it there, but thank you very much for joining us from our Cape Town studios. That's the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Adv Michael Masutha, talking to us about the results for the 2014 offenders who wrote their matric exam.